In case some of you did not know, yesterday Dillian Whyte, in his questionable win over Jermaine Franklin, he was trained for the first time in his career by Hall of Fame renowned trainer Buddy McGirt, former WBC welterweight champion of the world, a man who shared the ring with Pernell Whitaker twice. First time they fought was a very close contested bout. Buddy McGirt, a student of the game, a master of his technique, a good defensive fighter, guy that knows how to use the jab. Not a fighter or trainer that should ever be taken lightly. But he has a certain style. He's also known to many recently. To fans that have been watching for a long time, they know that he trained James Toney, that he reshaped Arturo Gatti's boxing style. More recently, he's known for training Sergey Kovalev following his knockout defeat to Eldar Alvarez and training Janibek Alimuhandalai. Now, what Buddy McGirt did to Sergey Kovalev was the same thing he did to Arturo Gatti. Sergey Kovalev, known to being that pressure fighter, that Eastern European tough guy, goes in there, strong jab, hard right hand, goes in there to break your face, has killed the guy in the ring before. He's very technique-wise. Like, he uses his power behind a good technique, likes to have a power jab to lead everything. He knocked out Najib Mohammadi, I remember very clearly, with a jab. He knocked out Anthony Yarde with a jab that was under the tutelage of Buddy McGirt. But prior to training under Buddy McGirt, he was a pressure fighter. He was a guy that did not know how to pace himself well, and he looked to knock out everyone that he faced. Now, going up to his rematch against Eldar Alvarez, no one thought Sergey Kovalev could win that fight, including me. I didn't think Sergey Kovalev could beat Eldar Alvarez in a rematch. Now, Sergey Kovalev teamed up with Buddy McGirt. Buddy McGirt, in one training camp, I think was the first fight against Alvarez was in July 2018. The rematch, I could be wrong. This is going off memory. I don't have the box right in front of me. The rematch was in January 2019, so it was only a 6-month period between them. But he completely revamped Sergey Kovalev's boxing technique, boxing style, completely. Changed, because Sergey Kovalev, in the Andre Ward fight, was exposed to having, a sensitive body. Not the most durable body. So he changed it to a more cross-hand defense, where Sergey Kovalev would, I don't have a camera in front of me to show you exactly, but Sergey Kovalev had like a defense like this, like a cross-arm defense, and would pop his jab with the lower hand. That's how he fought. He stopped throwing power shots with every punch, just trying to touch you and move. Was fighting on his toes, was moving around, was moving a lot around the ring, was not pivoting his weight with every punch, was not going all out. Sergey Kovalev, throughout his career, was trained under John David Jackson. John David Jackson, a world-renowned trainer. Many of you guys know him. And they had a fallout prior to the Andre Ward rematch. And rumors have said that John David Jackson went in to the Andre Ward camp and told him that his weakness is to the body. John David Jackson, in case any of you guys don't know, was also a fighter. I think he also picked up a title. He fought at, was it middleweight or light middleweight? Something like that. And I know he got knocked out by Bernard Hopkins late in the 1990s. That I can confirm, but that's all I know about John David Jackson's career. He's not as world-renowned as Buddy McGirt. And when he went with Buddy McGirt, he completely changed his style. Then, following the Eldar Alvarez fight that happened in January, as I believe, January 2018, this one I'm sure, in August 24 or 31 of 2019, he fought Anthony Yarde in Russia. A fight where I thought Anthony Yarde would get to Kovalev late. Now, Anthony Yarde didn't have the experience or expertise or the amateur pedigree going up to the fight. And it showed early, where you see Kovalev controlling the fight with the jab. The fight was, I think, in St. Petersburg, Russia. And he controlled Anthony Yarde with the jab. Round 8, Anthony Yarde clips Sergey Kovalev. Sergey Kovalev is basically out on his feet. If this was in London, they would have stopped the fight. And then Anthony Yarde unleashes a barrage of punches, lands maybe 20 unanswered punches. Sergey Kovalev makes out the round, wins round 9, and then knocks out Anthony Yarde round 10. Yarde was just completely spent, out of energy completely, just lands a jab. Yarde was out cold. Now, after that, 10 weeks later, he fought Canelo Alvarez. I know people are going to be like, this is a video about Dillian Whyte. Why are you dragging it up? We're going through a breakdown of Sergey Kovalev's career. Let me just get to this point, then we'll talk about Dillian Whyte. But I got to hit this point first. In this fight against Canelo Alvarez, Sergey Kovalev fought very weird. A lot of people thought he was either winning or Canelo was slightly up prior to being knocked out, or was a draw. Like, it could have been 6-4 either way, or 5-5. I personally had a 5-5 going into round 11. Sergey Kovalev did not throw one power punch against Canelo Alvarez. He was using that pit style that Buddy McGirt taught him. And a lot of people did not watch the Alvarez fight or the Anthony Yarde fight. A lot of people that watch Canelo fights, they don't really pay attention to all the fights that happen. They watch the notable fights, but they don't pay attention to every little fight that happens. So they have the memory of Sergey Kovalev, the guy that knocked out John Pascal twice, the guy that beat up Bernard Hopkins and ended his career basically, the guy that knocked out Najib Mohammadi with a jab, the guy that was, going through all the light heavyweight contenders, the guy that knocked out Sherbansky, the guy that British fans known for, the guy that ended basically the promising career of Nathan Cleverly. So they know him as that guy, the Crusher. To see him just pat Canelo, and then in round 11, Canelo Alvarez knocks him out. A lot of people were saying this fight was staged. Sergey Kovalev clearly took a dive. And that, And in my opinion, if Canelo Alvarez had fought the 2014 version of Sergey Kovalev, I think Canelo Alvarez would have been stopped. And I think Canelo Alvarez knows that himself too. The 2019 version of Sergey Kovalev is not the 2014 version of Sergey Kovalev. But let's say Sergey Kovalev did go to his old offense when he fought Canelo Alvarez, it wouldn't have worked anyways. Sergey Kovalev was just at a point right now in his career where he's not that same guy anymore. He would have probably gassed out in 3 or 4 rounds if he tried to fight Canelo with that pressure fighting. The reason why he pat that style, he did not throw a single power punch basically throughout the fight. Maybe other than round 8 or 9, I forgot which round where he kind of unleashed against Canelo, which caused his own downfall because I think he punched himself out in that round. It's because he can't do it anymore. That's why he went to Buddy McGirt. And Buddy McGirt will teach you that style. If you watch the Dillian Whyte from yesterday, he resembles a lot of what Sergey Kovalev was doing in there. Just pit-pat, cross defense, and trying to make it out the fight without expending too much energy. Now, Dillian Whyte yesterday seemed to me not have the energy to knock out Jermaine Franklin, or to go at Jermaine Franklin late in the fight. And the best of Dillian Whyte we saw was in that round 12, when Dillian Whyte was like, when his trainer told him, this fight, you could be down, go at him, you got to win this round. And we saw vintage Dillian Whyte, and we saw Dillian Whyte hurt Jermaine Franklin badly in the last seconds of the round, and that was the best Dillian Whyte in the Jermaine Franklin fight. Throughout the fight, Dillian Whyte was pit-pan, had that cross defense. The cross defense worked because Jermaine Franklin was trying to set up that right uppercut, and he was kind of surprised to see Dillian Whyte have that cross defense, and he was catching those uppercuts. And Dillian Whyte did catch a lot of those shots. Let's not get it confused. Even though I thought Jermaine Franklin, if there was a winner, it should have been Jermaine Franklin. Dillian Whyte performed well. Even if Jermaine Franklin came in shape, I think Dillian Whyte could have still made it out of the fight without being knocked out. He performed well. He performed well enough because he blocked that uppercut. He completely revamped his style just to deal with that uppercut. If you get what I'm saying. And he done with it well. He managed to not get hit with the uppercut. I don't think that style is going to go that well with Anthony Joshua. I think Anthony Joshua, if he's throwing his vicious combinations on you, even if you're blocking them, they'll still hurt your chin. Even if you block them, if you catch them on your arm, it will basically, like, the impact will go through your hand. I'm telling you that right now. That pit-pat, cross-hand style is not going to work against Anthony Joshua. It could probably confuse him for the first 3 rounds, but when Anthony Joshua gets the rhythm, he's going to knock you out. So Buddy McGirt, this is his style. Now, my question is to you and to everyone. Is Buddy McGirt and Dillian Whyte a good match, right? He's going to make him conserve his energy better, because we've seen Dillian Whyte in fights, especially against Joseph Parker and Derek Chisora the first time, where he throws everything. He empties the tank, goes all out, and barely makes it through the fight. Excuse me. We've seen that before from Dillian Whyte. So, obviously, this style is tying up his defense, and now he can fight where conserving more energy. But is this the perfect match for Dillian Whyte? Dillian Whyte, the thing that gives him a chance against guys like Fury Wilder and Joshua is his ferociousness and explosiveness. Now, we've seen him against Joshua before. He had one good moment in the fight, did get battered for the rest of the 7 rounds, but he had a good moment. We saw him against Fury. He was completely out of depth. And I think the same thing would happen against Wilder. But at least in people's minds going into these fights, people think he has a chance. Now, the Dillian Whyte that beat Joseph Parker and Derek Chisora and Alexander Povetkin and Mariusz Wach and all these guys and Oscar Rivas and all these guys is the explosive, ferocious Dillian Whyte. When you try to teach Dillian Whyte the basics, Dillian Whyte is a very limited fighter, by the way. I love the guy, but he's a very limited fighter. When you try to do that to him, you basically, what's the word I'm looking for? What's the word? Like, you cage him down, if you know what I mean. Right? You're teaching him some basics, some skills, but you put him on the level of a Jermaine Franklin now. He's not a top 10 fighter anymore in the heavyweight division. Because I thought Dillian Whyte's punch resistance was going to be worse. Because I heard Handman talking about it, how, we're going to basically see David Price. I think that Dillian Whyte, the uppercut catches him because he has a small head. But if he can protect the uppercut, that defense that he got is good. But his style, his offensive style is not good. It's not going to get him anywhere. I don't think that guy we saw yesterday beats Joseph Parker. And Derek Chisora, not this completely washed Derek Chisora, but Derek Chisora of 2018, 2019, 2020 beats this Dillian Whyte we saw yesterday. Call me crazy, but I think he does. And that's just my thoughts. Just food for thought. Give me your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you guys think that Dillian Whyte versus Buddy McGirt is a good match? Dillian Whyte is known for changing lots of trainers. And don't forget, they've only been together for 6 weeks. So we don't know what could happen. Dillian Whyte is known for changing a lot of trainers. Maybe we see him change another trainer. Maybe we see them in the next fight. Because if you heard Eddie Hearn, he's not going to go straight into the Wilder fight. He said both Wilder and... not Wilder, excuse me, and the Joshua fight. Both Whyte and Joshua are going to have tune-up fights before they fight in the summer in Wembley Stadium. I would get Dillian Whyte, a guy that we've seen lose before, not Jermaine Franklin, who was unknown. And I told you, I made a video, potential upset coming. Jermaine Franklin is a good fighter. Get a guy who we've seen him before, you know what I mean? Like, we've seen him get knocked out before. Like Arthur Spelka, a guy like Eric Molina, Gerald Washington. That type of guy is what you should get for Dillian Whyte now. And Adam Kaunaki, you know what I mean? Don't get him a guy we don't know what his attributes. I forgot how to pronounce that word. Like, we don't know what his skills are. We don't know what his... if he has a good chin, if he has good power, you know. Don't get a guy with a lot of unknowns. Get a guy that we know what he is. Get a guy maybe a bit better than the guys I just mentioned. Like, I'm not saying go down to Eric Molina level, but don't go up to, like, Michael Hunter level. You know what I mean? Get a guy in between there that we know Dillian Whyte can knock out. maybe Manuel Char. Maybe. Oh, by the way, Manuel Char versus Chris Brown are fighting in December 17. The fight between the two former WBA regular titles are fighting in Dubai on December 17th. So that's what's up. Yeah, get him a fight like that. One of those two guys. Alex Lepi, if he's still around here. Tony Thompson, if you guys can get him out of retirement, get a fight like that. Don't be bringing in guys that are unknown like Jermaine Franklin. Don't do that. I knew Jermaine Franklin. I knew he was going to give him a tough fight, arguably, and he arguably beat him. I knew that was going to happen. And if he came in shape, trust me, Dillian Whyte would have not been awarded that fight. Because he would have won at least 10 rounds, if not knock out Dillian Whyte. But he started out the fight because I had him winning 5 out of the first 6 rounds. And I had Whyte winning 4 out of the last 6 rounds. So Whyte won the second half and Franklin won the first half. The only reason why that happened is because Franklin did not come in shape. Now, I don't want to make this video taller than it already is. It's a very long video already. Like, subscribe if you enjoyed it. Give me your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you guys think Buddy McGirt and Dillian Whyte are a good match? And that's it. Stick Boxing out.